Lesson 24, True and False Number Sentences, on page 271 in your workbook. State whether each number sentence is true or false. If the number sentence is false, explain why. The first thing that you need to recognize that this is an inequality, that this side must be greater than the other side. So let's simplify the expression and find out. What is 4 plus 5? 9. Is 9 greater than 9? And the answer is false. Both sides are equal and 4 plus 5 should be greater than 9. Okay, let's look at the second one. 3 times 6 equal 18. And even when you read it, you can kind of figure the answer, right? 3 times 6 is 18. We have the equal sign, and both sides should be the same. And the answer is true. Both sides should be equal. Nice. Let's go to the next one. C. 32 is greater than 64 divided by 4. Well, let's find out. 64 divided by 4 and the answer is 16. So is it true that 32 is greater than 16 when we simplify 64 divided by 4? And the answer is true. 32 is greater than 16. Let's look at the next one. 78 minus 15 is less than 68. Let's simplify. Erase this part here. Let's simplify 78 minus 15. You subtract. Okay, 63. Now let's go and plug it in. 63 is less than 68, and the answer is true. 63 is less than 68. Okay, we're going to do the last one. And the last one is 22 is greater than or equal than 11 plus 12. So let's go ahead and simplify this side. 11 plus 12 give us 23. So is it true that 22 is greater than or equal to 23? And the answer is false. Let's explain it. 22 is not greater than or equal to 23. Okay, let's go ahead and do the next one. Okay, we're going to do the table. Let's read the directions of example number 1. Write true or false if the number substituted for G results in a true or false number sentence. Now here's going to be very important that when we substitute G with all these numbers they gave us, that we understand the 4G means times, 4 times G. Here's a 3 times G. Here that means G divided by 2. And that's it. So we can get started with the first one. Is 4 times 8 equal 32? And the answer is true. Is 8 equal 8? And the answer is true. Is 3 times 8 greater than or equal to 30? And the answer is false. Because 3 times 8 is 24, and 24 is not greater than 30. Is 8 greater than or equal to 10? And the answer is no. Because the number 8 must be 11, 12, 13, 14 in order to be greater than or equal to. Is 8 divided by 2 greater than 2? And the answer is true. 8 divided by 2 is 4. And 4 is greater than 2. We forgot to write this one. That was false. Next one. 8 is 8 greater than 4? And the answer is true. $30 greater than or equal to, is 38 minus 8 less than 30? The answer is false, because 38 minus 8 is 30, and 30 and 30 are it's not greater than the other 30. So that would be false. And the other last one, 8 is greater or equal to 8, and the answer is false because they're equal. I'm going to ask you for you to pause the video at this point, and I want you to try to complete the table by yourself. I'm going to give you a few minutes, and then we can come back for the answers. Okay, if we go to this column here, we should have noticed that all the answers were false. Now, I want to see if you were thinking of a pattern when you were completing the table. You could have gone this way. But let's look at it going maybe down. Like for example here, whenever you have an equation, you should have noticed that equations only have one answer. So once you find the true statement, what do you think is going to happen with the other ones? The rest of them should be false unless you have an 8, right? So that should be the answers for that one. If you look at the next one, you have an equation. You should have noticed that in order for this to be true, you only can have an 8. Do we have 8s only? And the answers are no. So then your other set of answers should have been false. On the next one, you see that you have an inequality. And this part must be greater than 30. Well, 3 times what gives me more than 30? It has to be like an 11 or a bigger number, not a smaller number. And all the numbers that we have here are smaller than 11. So you should have noticed that also are all false. Okay, let's look at the next one. The next problem, it's an inequality, and G should be greater than 10. So it should be either 10.1 or something bigger than 10, or if you're looking at whole numbers, it should be 11 or greater. And again, we don't have numbers more than 11 or 11 or more. So the answers should be all false. Let's look at the next one. We have a fraction, g divided by 2. So in order for this side to be greater than 2, we must, whatever answer we get here has to be more than 2. So if we divide it by 4, that is going to give us exactly 2. It cannot be 4. It has to be greater than 4. So any number greater than 4 is going to make this side to be true. So we're going to look at the answers here. We have a 4, where we said it's false. A 2 would be false. A 0 would be false. And 10 is greater than 4. So that will make the answer to be true. Let's look at the next one. Again, an inequality. We have a 4, and we say that g, our secret number, is greater than 4. So it has to be more than 4. So we have a 2. 2 makes it false. 0 makes it false. And 10 makes it true. By now, you should see the pattern, right? So here, 30 has to be greater in order to equal, meaning the other side, whatever result we get, we have to get a value to g that makes it less than 30. So it could be 29, 29 or lower. So 38 minus what gives me 29. I'm just going to do the work down here so that you can see what I was thinking. So 38 minus 29, it would do the subtraction. That will give me 9, right? So the number that it's going to have to replace g has to be 9 or greater. We have a 2, we have a 0, and we have 10. So 10 is the only number that is going to make this to be true. So this is false, 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 and true. Last one. The number that has to be substituted with g has to be more than 8. So we can see that 2 is not more than 8. 0 is not more than 8. The only number that makes it true is 10. Let's write the answers. False, false, and true. In conclusion, you should have noticed that equations only have one answer. Inequalities can have more than one answer. Don't forget, effort is the most important thing, and it matters, and it makes a huge difference. It doesn't matter how many mistakes you did. Your effort is going to take you a long way.